Hello everyone, this is the video of Legal Studies class 12 unit 2, and in this video I will be discussing about the tort law. Though we have discussed in our previous video about the meaning and sources of the tort law, but in this video I will be discussing about the kinds of harmful act, because as we have discussed in our previous video while discussing the meaning of tort law, that it is a civil wrong, okay, that affecting other, harming other by any means. Okay. So, in this video we will be focusing on the types of harmful act. Okay. So, let us first see the first category. What are the harmful acts? The first one is intentional tort, the second one is negligence, and the third one is a strict liability. Okay. So, one by one we will discuss. Intentional tort means harming someone intentionally. Negligence, talking about the act that you did it, but it was your negligent act. However, that affected other person, that harmed other person, still you are responsible for that. And a strict liability, that is the kind of liability though you are directly not involved in harming others, but somehow you are involved in, maybe through your servant, through your employee or something like that. We will discuss that in later while discussing the strict liability. Okay. So, first we will start with the intentional tort. Okay. So, let us check out what are the major types of intentional tort, because intentional tort may be of different kind. So, what are those kinds? Let us check it out. The first one, of course, battery and assault. Second one, false imprisonment. Next, trespass to land. Next, trespass to chattels. Next, conversion. Next, unlawful harassment. And the last one, invasion of privacy. So, likewise, we have types of intentional tort. Okay. We will discuss one by one. Okay, let us begin with the battery. So, what is meaning of battery? Battery is something that you intentionally harm other person through your act, through your action. So, whatever the thing you did that harmed other person, and it has to be intentional. So, as the legal language saying here, battery is an act that defines the intentional touching of or application of force to the body of another person or anything related to him or her in a harmful or offensive manner without the consent of the person. Okay? So, if you touched someone and your touch somehow harmed that person, then it is called as battery. However, at this point in time we need to understand something else in order to understand the battery. Well, as defined here in the definition, that touching is essentially required, but not always essentially touching is required. Maybe it is direct or maybe indirect. Direct, you hit someone through your hand and something maybe in your hand like a stick or something like that, and you hit someone through that. So, it is direct touching. But if you hit someone by throwing a stone, by throwing cold water or warm water, that harmed other person, okay, so that is also battery. Though you are not touching, but you are indirectly inflicting injury on the body of other person. So, that is battery. Another example, that in a crowd you might hurt someone, but neither it was your intention nor it was in your knowledge, because the crowd was so dense that you, while passing, you might hurt someone through your body. So, that is not battery, because it happened because of the circumstance. That action won't consider under the battery. Okay. Okay, now we will discussing something about the essential elements of battery. The first one essentially required, that is intent, means your intention has to be there to hurt someone. Okay. The second one is use of force. So, only intention is not sufficient. In order to prove the intention, action is required. So, that is in the form of use of force. So, you have the intention to hurt someone, and after that or subsequently you hit that person by any means to hurt that person, isn't it? So, you applied the force in order to hurt, in order to inflict injury. Okay. The next one is contact. Of course, or not essentially required that you physically go and hit, but as we have discussed in the example that if you throw warm water or a stone or anything of such type that caused injury to that person, that is well covered under the battery. Okay. Damage and harm, another essential element, that your action, your intent plus action, that is the force you applied, must cause some injury, only then it will be considered as battery. So, injury or damage, harm, that is essentially required. Okay. However, such damage or injury could be of any type, that is maybe physical, emotional, mental. Okay. Next one, that is another essential element, that is consent. The person whom you caused injury, he didn't or she didn't allow you to do so. So, you did it without his or her consent. If his or her consent is involved, then the story will be something different. So, it must be happen without the consent. And the last essential element, that is you cannot justify your act. The injury you inflicted on other person, you are not in position to justify lawfully. If you justify lawfully, it is fine. It is not an intentional tort or battery. But if you cannot justify lawfully, then it will be covered under the battery. However, at this point in time, I would like to focus on another fact, that is battery is a sort of trespass to the person with intention to harm him or her. Therefore, it can be either criminal offence or tort, that is civil wrong, or both. So, we will see how and when it could be a criminal offence and when and how it could be a civil offence, that is tort. The next term that we will discuss, that is civil battery. Okay. When the wrongdoer though causes intentional injury to other person and he had the knowledge that he was causing harm or injury to someone, but there is no specific criminal intent, is considered as civil battery. The punishment is wrongdoer has to pay the damages caused by him. So, if it is a civil wrong or tort, then the punishment is compensation, damages. Okay. The next term is criminal battery. When the perpetrator causing harm with knowledge and intention to kill someone or to injure someone deeply is known as criminal battery. The punishment of criminal battery is imprisonment or fine or both. So, still I believe you must have the confusion between civil battery and criminal battery. But here I tell you one point that will simplify your understanding. See, in civil wrong or in tort, intention, focus on the term intention. Here in civil wrong, person has the knowledge to cause injury on other person. Okay, but in criminal battery, person has the intention to cause injury. So here knowledge and here knowledge plus intention. Okay, so you need to focus on these 2 points. Let's understand it with an example. Say you started fighting over a small issue with your friend and you just slapped him or you just hit him, whatever came in your hand, maybe a stick, maybe anything, it could be anything, and you hit him, but your intention wasn't there to injure or to cause such injury to your friend. So it could be on your friend or on a stranger, but it could be like this. But the point that you need to focus on, that is, your intention shouldn't be there to cause such injury. It happened because of the spur of moment, because of the heat of moment. Okay, so you started fighting and you did that. Though you hit him intentionally, you had the knowledge it will cause injury to him, but your intention was not there to cause such deep injury or something like that. But in criminal battery, you have the intent, you have the intention right from the beginning to cause such harm to that person. So it is something like, you can say, planned, or it is something like, you can say that you hit him with the intention to kill him, something like that. That is also possible. So it's all about the intention. It is a very thin line difference, and that has to be proved. Otherwise, it will considered as criminal battery. Okay, that is there. But it is not criminal battery, that need to be proved. Okay, so if it is criminal battery, there is nothing need to be proved. Only if you hit someone, that is more than enough. The thing that need to be proved, that is you hit someone, that's it. But if it is tort, then you need to prove that you had not the intention to cause such injury. Okay, so that is difference between civil battery and criminal battery. The next topic that we have, that is defense against the battery. In what condition such tort can be justified? You can say like that. So how you can escape from the act that you did? Okay, so that is defense against the battery. The first one is self-defense. You did it, as I gave the example, that you start fighting with your friend and your friend about to hit you very hard with a big stone or something like that. Okay, so before he hits you, you hit him. Okay, so in that condition you caused injury to him, but you did it in your defense. In such a condition, this is excusable. Okay. Secondly, defense of others. Maybe you are protecting your relatives, your friends, or while protecting him or her, even a stranger. You are protecting even a stranger. It's not specifically always some relative, but you can also protect a stranger as well. So while protecting him or her, if you hit someone, then it is again excusable. So defense against oneself, defense against others, and defense against the property. So the condition is, if you are protecting something valuable, whether it is life or property, then it is excusable. You won't be given punishment of paying the damages in such a condition. Okay. Now the last topic that we have under the battery, that is remedy. So if someone caused injury to you, so what are the remedies available with you? The first one, of course, the damages. So whatever injury he caused to you, so he needs to pay the damages. all the medical expenses and other expenses as well. Okay? So, that is damages and injunction, and of course, that person will be restrained not to repeat any such action that may cause you injury, whether it is directly or indirectly. Okay. So, this is the story of battery, that we have understood the meaning and concept of battery, and we have also discussed about the differences between tort, that is civil battery, and criminal battery. What is basic difference between civil battery and criminal battery? We have also seen the essential elements of a battery. We have also seen the defense against the battery, and lastly we have discussed about the remedies of battery. So, this is all for this video, and in next video we will be discussing about the assault. Okay. So, see you in next video.